Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Is everything okay on the audio end? If everything is okay, I will quickly address the elephant in the room, let's say. So, let's see. Before we begin, mind dealing with the elephant in the room. Called the Dark Eldar Codex, now being available for pre-order for tabletop, and how that affects Tacticus. Well, how that affects Tacticus is basically we now have a chance to get the Dark Eldar in the game, right? And that's basically it, because we wouldn't get new factions without new codexes. So, for the Xenos faction, we now officially have, well, the Dark Eldar and the Votan. So, that's good, I guess, right? I really hope that one of those gets added soon. If I had to guess, I would say that there would be a bigger chance for the Votan. The Votan, since, well, Mechanicus 2 is coming sooner than later, I think, and that has Votan in it, so that would connect. That's my guess. What other factions are there? I think some people said that there are Chaos Demons, but to be honest, I'm not that big of a tabletop guy, so I'm not sure which codex is like current and which is outdated, so yeah. Before we start, the longer Snowprint takes, the more OP the Necron update will be, and they are gonna be the best faction again. Mark my words. Okay, guys, you heard it here, right here. We have a big call out to Snowprint to take their time with the update, because that allows us to get better Necrons. Okay, guys, let's not stretch it too much, because the Defecticon will laugh at me for doing a stream that is 3 hours long, and that's not ideal, I guess. So, we have Tacticus here, right? And, well, we are going to be talking about 4 hours, yeah. Okay, we are going to be talking about Necrons today. And to be honest, well, Necrons are pretty hype. Like, I really enjoy the faction. I wouldn't say that I am like the biggest fan overall, since, well, you know, they aren't the strongest. But sometimes it's not the strength that matters, right? Sometimes it's the fluff, let's say. So my idea right now is to talk about them one by one. And, well, since I need to start farming Celestine shards. No, I don't. No, I don't. I really don't like Celestine. So, we are going to be looking at the Necrons still as a kind of a beginner faction, in a way, since they are the first faction that a player can farm when progressing their account. And they are the first Xenos faction that gets turned online by the game for a new player, right? So, while we talked about the Ultramarines in the previous deep dive, the fact is that those guys are a beginner faction, right? Total beginner faction. Outside of those two, let's say, because they are late game. And okay, you know what I mean. While Necrons, they get to be a little bit more complicated, and that's good for them. That's very good for them. This allows us to have some more fun with them. So, Necrons are the expert faction. They need to be a step up. Well, I wouldn't call Necrons the expert faction, but yes, they are like a higher difficulty faction to operate, right? Because Ultramarines in theory are just like, you place them next to each other, they buff each other. The Necrons require you to think about placement and synergies a little bit more. So, as the first candidate that we have in the game, that's Makotep, right? And it's not a big surprise to anyone that watches my channel that Makotep is my favorite Necron in the game in terms of design. I just love this guy. I really enjoy his kit. I think that if he were to get a single buff to his active, he would be great. And I would push him to Diamond 2.5. Right now he's stuck at Gold 3 with level 35 skills, but that's because I, well, had to pivot a bit into Snotfloga active and into other stuff too. So it stopped my progression on him. Anyway, Makotep. What do we have here? We have an active that basically allows us to give a second turn to your summons, right? All of your summons. But because some people, for some reason, some people think that this works only on mechanical units or something. But it doesn't. It doesn't require you to target mechanical units. It allows you to target, for example, Bloodletters from Archimatos. It allows you to reset Galatian. Like, there are plenty of options that you can have here. So, it's like a Tangida reset, but it allows the summon to move, which is huge. Because they can, for example, rush into melee or take a high ground or something. That's a very nice bonus. So yeah, this is great, especially since it also gives them +1 movement, because it triggers the passive when you use the active. So that's very nice, because look at it like this. When we compare the Necrons to the Ultramarines were basic as hell. Like, their synergies were just stand next to each other. That's not exciting, to be honest. And when you compare it to this active, so that's the most basic character that we have for the Necrons faction, right? That's the first one that you get. When you compare it to things like Incisus or Certus or Tigurius even, or even Bellator, but we will have a Bellator like soon, that's not really that exciting when you compare those to this one. Because this one is so open, like so open. And keep in mind, like, it also is designed in a way that makes multi-hit summons better. Because if your summon only has 1 hit, that's not that great. But if he starts to have 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, that would be like proper damage, right? So think of it like this. You have Bellator, and you use the Bellator active, and you surround the enemy with Bella babies. So Bella babies, that's like 5 babies, let's say. And they kill the target. Then you can move in with Makotep and use the active, and the Bella babies can rush to another enemies, and they deal proper damage because they have 6 hits. So that's strong. Like, that, I wouldn't say that Makotep is meta, of course, but like the potential is here. Even for a new player, you can use Makotep with Bellator for the combo, right? That's important. That's teaches the new player how to utilize the tools better. So the passive, the problem with the passive, the problem, it's not a problem. It's very strong because it gives +1 movement to everyone. And it doesn't matter whether they are mechanical, whether they are chaos, Xenos, whatever. It works for everyone, all units. So summons and characters. And that's huge as hell because this is the best movement buff in the game. Like, no challenge whatsoever. Maybe Corrodius on Chaos Survival is better. So that's a great bonus. Like, it doesn't scale that well because, well, +1 movement, okay, it's the same at level 1 and level 50. Repairing mechanical units for bonus health, that's okay. I wouldn't call it drastic though. It's basically the same number as Nicodemus. So I wouldn't call Nicodemus AoE healing good. And the same applies here. So, you know, it's okay. But to be honest, I think that it could have something more added to it if we would want it to scale better, because this isn't exciting. So I would, for example, consider things like maybe tiny damage buffs to allow the characters to scale better. Maybe bonus hits for summons, so the active works better with them. I don't know. There are options, right? Makotep is very close to being playable overall. Like, he has such great potential and he doesn't need much to be there. For example, the active could get a cooldown of a round or two. That would be good enough, in my opinion. So yeah. Let me quickly check out the chat, because I got into yapping. Hopefully Trazyn will be the 6th Necron character, since he's rumored to be getting a new tableau for tabletop. Hot take, Trazyn wouldn't be a great addition. Necrons need a frontline character. Aleph Null wasn't supposed to be a tank, remember. Necron tank should be updated version of certain trash plasma monster. Yeah, okay, I agree. If you like him so much, why not blue star him? Because I don't like his relic, and I don't like him enough to farm 400 shards for him. I have more important things to upgrade right now, and I don't feel like it is that worth it to push him to a blue star, just because his relic isn't exciting. Like, the basic bitch Necron relic is not my type of argument to grind so much for. Orokin would be great, but I think that Orokin should replace Tatmos, and then we should get Trazyn as a 6th character, but I don't think that is ever going to happen. But a man can dream, right? You know, I stopped farming to blue star because of your video. Now I suffer. Sorry. Sorry, Lagmaster. I was right during the days, and now I can say that the orange star is overrated, and I think that it's still the right call. I wish that I knew about the mythic changes sooner, but you know. Okay, that's the first Necron. The second one, Emo Spec. Emo Spec is pretty easy to digest. Overwatch, 6 hits with bonus damage on ranged Overwatch hits. Keep in mind, it's only ranged. So if you engage with Emo Spec in melee, he won't deal huge damage to you. But if he gets to shoot you on Overwatch in in ranged combat, I think that it's very easy to say that most likely he will just one-shot you. Like, he deals a ton of damage if you engage into ranged Overwatch. Okay, what makes him unique for a new player is that the second part of this comes in. So, when defeating a unit with an attack triggered by Overwatch, Emo Spec stays in Overwatch. Yes, he's so low, I don't enjoy him too much. Emo Spec stays in Overwatch, retaining 1 fewer hits compared to the previous attack. So, this means that he has 6 hits, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then he's done. That's a very unique passive. Like, he got power crept. Yes, Jess is right. He got power crept. He is still okay. Like, Xenos survival, like, he shines there, right? Because you can give him bonus hits and or bonus damage, and the Overwatch can deal with the AI, especially if you position him properly. Since you can abuse the AI being greedy with their placement of units, right? The problem is that basically he is only good against AI, because the players, well, they can play around range 2 on an Overwatch unit. And I don't think that anyone has gotten destroyed by AI Emo Spec, but I may be wrong. It's rare anyway. So the active, let's talk about the active now. He deals, well, 6 times molecular damage to an enemy in range 2. Any leftover hits are located to another enemy adjacent to the target and in range 2. Each enemy killed gives you 1 hit, and it can target more and more enemies until there are no more enemies or hits left. So basically, in theory, if a single hit of this active can kill an enemy, Emo Spec could kill everyone in range 2. But he needs to chain, right? So if there's like a weak target and then a tank next to it, well, the tank is going to stop the chain. So can we get a vote to force Fred to ascend? Oh no. No. We can. We can get a vote. E2 legendary. Yes. No. Here you go. It should be there. I don't think that you guys are so cruel to force me to upgrade Emo Spec, right? For sure, my loyal viewers would not do this to me. For sure. Anyway. So, guys, let's talk Emo Spec a bit more. One big thing that has been changed about Emo Spec is that he used to have only 1 hit in melee. Like, this was one hit instead of 6. Like, Lackmaster, it's not that hard to get them, don't worry about it. Like, I basically have everyone ascended that I wanted to have ascended, so no worries here. So, I would say that I have no idea who thought that the release version of Emo Spec was okay, because, well, he was basically the old design that a character has either to be good in melee or good in ranged. I have no idea if you can change your vote, to be honest. But I wanted to say that the change, it helped him a bit, but it still isn't like super broken. since the Overwatch bonus damage only applies to ranged attacks, right? So the difference between the damage output is easy to notice. Remember when his attack animation is gonna happen and nothing did. I don't remember this. I don't recall it. Okay, so let's see. I cannot do this like... No, I trapped myself. I now need to open YouTube chat. Yes, okay. Okay, let's see. 78% for yes. Jesus. Okay. Here you go. I hope that you are happy because I didn't need to do this. Okay. Great. Now we have legendary emo spec. Let's see. I like emo spec. The problem with emo spec is that Revas is similar but just way better. You know, the problem with emo spec before wasn't Revas, because Revas is like a single huge Overwatch, which for like Guild Wars or Tournament Arena, okay, that's all that you need, right? But for game modes like legendary release events, for game modes like survival, emo spec is way better. So that's a proper side grade, but the problem is that, well, in legendary release events, Revas now is better emo spec, way better emo spec, because of the relic that she got. So the only use for emo spec is basically survival, I guess. Perhaps some campaign one day. Maybe the Necrons will be fighting someone. No idea. Like, hard to tell, right? I have an upgrade that I can give him, but I'm not going to give him the upgrade. Let's go. Like, emo spec, he isn't that bad. Like, he doesn't need like so much love to be usable. The problem is that Revas got the better end of the bargain. And, well, let's be honest, the Necron relic that they have right now isn't exciting. No, we should not vote for it, because I know the result. So this will be a dictatorship for a second. Anyway, we now have the MVP of the Necrons faction, and that's, well, very easy to say why, right? 3 movement, pretty tanky, like not a full tank like Gelgords or Revas, but pretty tanky. Flying, which helps sometimes. Scarabs that can multiply infinitely, which is huge. Keep in mind, they used to be always piercing. Now they are only the first turn, they are piercing. Which, to be honest, I don't think that they need it. Like, they could lose it. Like, the idea of Scarabs isn't to one-shot a character. That shouldn't be the case. The idea of Scarabs should be like being a nuisance and forcing you to take care of them. They should force your attacks and make you lose actions. They don't have to one-shot your character. That's not okay. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like piercing on the Scarabs. Sorry. So yeah. Low health and near to no damage is worse than Reaper Swarms. Yeah, but Reaper Swarms cannot multiply forever, right? That's the difference. The idea, like, the only strong part of the Scarabs that's there is that they are infinite if you let them be. So that's a huge problem. Especially since they have the reanimation protocols, which are so unnecessary. Like, oh, I love my 35% chance to not kill a unit that can go infinite. Like, yay, this is so fun, especially in one-hit legendary release event tracks, right? Damn, feels bad. The passive is great. It's very simple. Like, it's not exciting, to be honest, but it does the job. Like, repairing a mechanical unit when Aleph moves is okay. It adds up. It helps you keep up with the damage output of some bosses, like Mortarion, for example. Like, Aleph Null is a huge part of why AdMech is usable on Mortarion, since the Scarabs can bait out the aggro, and, well, Aleph Null can just heal up raw forever. So that's a very simple reason, but it works. The only use for raids for Aleph Null is Mortarion, and it's a good use. It's a nice niche to have. You could, in theory, also use him in, like, Rodbone, if you wanted, but, you know, the main use is Mortarion. Aleph Null, overall, simple, pretty simple, but elegant and very strong. Like, he carries the faction in the campaign, and that means something, right? Okay. So, as you can see, I gave Tatmos all my love that I had. He now is epic 3 stars. It's stone 1. So, abilities at 1/1. So, Certus over Tatmos. Oh, that's a hot take. That's a very hot take. Huh. I mean, you know, in theory, you could pair him up with Traian, so he would get 3 hits on his passive. Maybe that's a way to make him work. Maybe that's a chance for him to be redeemed in any kind of way. I don't know. Maybe Traian will enable Tatmos. So, I have him at gold 1, 35. He ain't worth it, trust me. Yeah, I can trust you. But do you think that the problem are the stats? Oh. 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 Oh no. Ew. Okay, that's not great then. That's not great. Like, if they were to remove it, I think that it would be fine. Especially since, guys, keep in mind, Mephiston used to have this too. And he basically deals the same pierce. He has the same pierce ratio, keep in mind. The same pierce ratio, which cannot be blocked. It cannot be blocked. Direct damage can still be blocked, so Psychic is better. Psychic is a better damage type than direct. He gets to have 2 hits that bounce. So he has like 4 hits in reality. In the meantime, Tatmos has only 1 hit on 1 enemy. That cannot be modified. Like, I'm sorry, but there is no reason whatsoever, 0 reason, to not change Tatmos passive and remove this. It, like, the base scaling doesn't have to be great, but allow us to modify it with bonus hits, with bonus damage. Like, allow us to play around it. Because that's what kills the character for me. That's the biggest problem of Tatmos. You cannot do shit with this passive. It's so restrictive. It's so bad. Like, 100% pierce ratio, it can be blocked. We have Mephiston, which is basically this, but better. Because Mephiston deals more damage to a single character with Psychic, and he then deals the second, like the double the amount of damage to a second character, and then they cannot be blocked. And this can be blocked. Like, come on. Come on. This is so bad. There's no reason. No reason to keep this. Zero reason. Like, at least allow us to give this more hits, to get affected by damage buffs. Like, this is the way to make it interesting. Because right now it's shit because of this. We don't need it at all. It still would be shit. Yes. That would fix it a bit. But, like, it's the easiest thing that you can do. Just remove the restriction. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. So, you know, if we were to get this removed, that would be fine. That would be a step in the right direction. And if Snowprint wants the Necrons to not be shit, they should do it. So, we will see whether they do it. The active, like, it's a discounted Tigurius, I guess, right? So, it ignores bonuses and modifiers and cannot crit, which is like, okay, but we deal damage only to 3 characters, while Tigurius gets to do this to 5 characters? Or 6? I think that it's 6 when you level him up even more. So, you know, I wouldn't call this fair. Because it feels like the devs were very scared of the 100% pierce ratio. But I don't think that it's relevant right now. Like, I'm sorry. We have way bigger problems in Tacticus than high pierce. God forbid you have a reliable damage output in this game, right? This doesn't need to be restricted by this too. Like, I get it. Like, you hit 3 people with this part. Okay, this can be scary. But come on, Janezar basically does the same thing. Like, yeah, Janezar basically does the same thing. And it's not a problem whatsoever. So, I don't know, like, it feels weird to me. Like, piercing damage. Ooh, 20% more pierced. Oh, that's so scary. 20% pierce. 80 compared to 100. Like, it doesn't matter. It deals 3 hits. And it hits 4 people. So, that's 12 hits that can crit. That can be modified. That can be affected by different things on the battlefield. 12 hits. So, Janezar gets to crit on her 12 crits with huge pierce. And in the meantime, the Tatmos active doesn't get to crit, even if he only has 3 hits. 3 hits total, because he only hits 3 people with 1 hit each. Jesus Christ. Talk about a power creep character. This active was power crept by Janezar. Janezar replaced this active and basically how strong Jane's active is how Tatmos active should be. And this passive was power crept by Mephiston, which means that both parts of the character are trash. They are both awful. Yeah. So. And he also has Plasma, 2 hits on range and melee. Like, okay. Plasma has almost no synergies in the game. So, doesn't matter, let's be honest. It doesn't matter at all. Because, well, we have Sarkel active, I guess, right? But you don't need more Pierce on Plasma. Plasma is already huge Pierce. Doesn't matter much. And the damage output isn't good enough to consider it. So yeah, Tatmos needs to get at least, at the very least, needs to get those removed. It should be modifiable. It should be affected by buffs. It should be affected by bonus hits. Like, being able to make Tatmos work with, for example, Traian would be fine. It would be fun to play with. And all that we need is to remove this. That's all that we need. Nothing more. And now we could play around with the bad character. But right now there's no reason to play around with him, because there are no tools to play with him, because you cannot modify anything in his hit. So that's very bad. That's like the least amount of synergies that you can bring to a character in the whole game, I think. He is the hardest to build around. There's no payoff whatsoever. Because, well, things just don't work with him for some reason. Because Snowprint was so scared of direct damage being 100% Pierce. Because, ooh, it would be so bad if this could one-shot Bellator. In the meantime, Aleph Null can do this. Anyway, Anufet. Imagine having fun in Tacticus, right? Right? That's so overrated. Having fun in Tacticus. My god. Who would do this? So. Anufet. We have Anufet here. He kinda is Mr. Win condition. Yes, in a way. Because the Necron warriors are pretty strong for a summon. Like, I love the fact that they are still living metal and mechanical. I kinda wish that Snowprint would clean up this kind of stuff. Same with Galatian being mechanical and vehicle, while vehicle is mechanical already. So you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You think you are playing a farming game, you are the one being farmed. Well, I would be farmed if I were to spend money. That's not the case currently, so... anyway... the Necron warriors, like, they are okay in ranged combat. They are pretty tanky, they have the bullshit reanimation protocols. So that's okay. So he scales with time, right? Each round that has started, but it also summons more for each living metal that was defeated in this battle. So the thing is that in theory the combo here is to bring in the Scarabs, they die, and this allows you to bring in more Necron warriors. But you would prefer for your Scarabs to survive. Because they are like the strongest summon in the faction, I think. Because they can win the match on their own. We all seen it in arena or tournament arena when people got overrun by Scarabs. So, you know, there's no reason to like, sacrifice Scarabs to get more Necron warriors. Like, what it should be, to me... So, In a free adjacent hex, summons one Necron warrior for each round that has started. And then, in range 2, summons each friendly unit with the trait Living Metal that was defeated in this battle at 20% health, let's say. So, what this would mean, that he would be... Oh wait, no, it should be a summon instead of unit, because that would allow you to re-summon Tatmos when he dies. So he would be a... I mean, would that be that bad? If they were revived at very, very low health. So they would have to heal up with the Living Metal passive. Would making him a medic be bad? I have no idea, but I think that it would be exciting. Like, we would have a mechanical medic, in a way. That would be fun. In the meantime, the passive. No, I mean, like, true medic. True medic, not a healer. A medic that can resurrect you. That's my idea. Someone that can revive, resurrect. He can resurrect your mechanical units. Like, I think that it would be fun. I don't think that it would be too much, since, well, we have this passive, which is, well, for sure it's not too much, right? So, at the start of his turn, Anufed deals damage to a random adjacent enemy. Jesus Christ. This is so bad. Because you need to be next to an enemy, and the damage is not even good. The pierce is bad. Like, to me, to be honest, to me, like, the only thing that saves it is that it can be buffed by crits, if you are lucky. So 2 hits, yay. That's something. But you know, I wouldn't call it super, super great. I would call it pretty trash. In theory, if you were to give him +4 melee hits, maybe that could be a way to make it strong in tournament arena or in survival. But, you know, if we need a power-up in a very restricted list of game modes to make an ability work, I don't think that it's a good ability. Yeah, now after we looked at them, we know why there are so many Necron rework threads on the official Discord Daydream. Indeed, there are plenty. And that's because, while the Necron faction isn't like in need for a total rework, they just need pushes in the right direction, right? So Makotep needs, for example, being able to use his active every like 2 or 3 rounds. Maybe give him some bonus damage for summons on his passive, or bonus hits. Emospec, he's pretty okay. It would be fine if, to be honest, it would be fine if he even didn't need to defeat a unit in order to stay in Overwatch. Like, that would make it very, very unique. Aleph Null, he doesn't need any help. Like, he is solid. He has his uses, and, well, that's all that we need from a character. Tatmos, basically the first step that we can get is removing the restrictions for damage modifiers and different bonuses on the abilities. And then Anufed, like, I wish that he were a Resurrector instead of a Necron Warrior spawner. Because if we were to get a resurrection orb, like real resurrection orb, he would be able to resurrect your dead Necron units, which could be fun as hell in things like survival and I don't know, even tournament arena, where you push with your 4 Necrons and then you reset with Anufet. And his passive also needs some love. So, those were the Necrons that we currently have in the game. But I think that it's safe to say that we could use some reworks, right? So, Necron Machine of War predictions. I would predict Doom Arc, I think. I think that it would be the easiest thing. Or the monolith would be too big, I think. It would be very distinct, but I think that it would be too big. You know, it would kinda be like giving the orcs something like Squiggoth. It would be very easy to notice and connect. But you know, I don't think that that's going to happen. Wait, Doom Arc Necrons? Doomsday Arc? No, that's not what I meant. I didn't Gauss Cannon? Maybe. There's this like a platform with the huge destroyers. Yeah, destroyers would be a fine addition. There's like this huge kind of like sentry with it's shaped like a moon in a way. So you know, Dawn of War 4 might influence what Necrons get as a machine of war. That's very true. There is this weird walker, very high walker for Necrons, right? That's being pushed by Games Workshop a lot. Like I think that it also has like some medic protocols in a way, so it would fit the faction. So yeah, okay. Let's check one thing. Does this work properly? It does not. Great stuff. How am I going to make this work? Why is it not working? Oh, let's see. We got this linked under our thread. This thread is a daydreaming thread on the main Tacticus server that was submitted by Defecticon a month ago, as I can see. So it's good that he mentioned that these are overloaded versions of the characters, because if there was annotation, I think that I would trash the overloading, but now we can look at it together and see whether those ideas are good or not. So let's see what Defecticon came up with, right? Makotep traits: living metal, suppressive fire. Okay, like giving Makotep suppressive fire is a nice niche. That's a nice idea, especially since, well, he is a sniper, and there's a video game review show with potential Warhammer game news, so I will be getting off the stream and going to that one soon, everyone. Okay, thank you for coming. If there are any news regarding Mechanicus 2, please let me know. Let's see. So yeah, suppressive fire. Suppressive fire is a very nice idea. I like it a lot, since it's a very underutilized mechanic in the game, I think. And I think that it should be used more, especially since, well, for example, me and Trench Blazer, we did a faction design together where suppression was the core part of them, right? So, you know, we will see whether suppressive fire is more important in the future. Active, adaptive strategy. Restore X amount of health for mechanical allies. If used on a mechanical ally, they get an extra action, but if used on a summon, the summon becomes completely controlled by the player for the remainder of the match. Okay, can be only used on Y amount of targets around Makotep. 2-turn cooldown. I don't think that giving the player the control over a summon that they summoned is OP, to be honest. Like, I don't think that it's a problem. But okay, so one problem that I have is that the wording for this ability is yeah, YouTube Revanced is based as hell. You're welcome. So the wording is funky here. So it heals mechanical allies. It heals mechanical allies, and then you can. So you target X people, and it heals everyone mechanical next to him, and then things happen based on what you did. So also, if used on a mechanical ally, they get an extra action. So that's like a second turn for example, Revas. Yes, that's what I understand. So second turn for okay. So I wouldn't call it an extra action. I know that you based it off the current wording, but the current wording gives like an extra action, but it allows them to move. That's the difference between extra action and extra attack, right? So I would go like it's if used on a mechanical ally, they attack. They attack an enemy in range, right? But if used on a summon, the summon becomes completely controllable by the player for the remainder of the match. That's okay. Can be used on Y number of targets around Makotep, which gives us a second scaling in the ability. So that's kinda like, to me, it kinda is like basically Actus on the cooldown, which is okay, but I think that it shouldn't heal. Okay, no worries. Comment the news in the comment section. That will be fine. Warhammer 40k, Total War, and Dawn of War 4 are also great news, so I would love it. So, we need something to scale. Yes, we do. But healing, like, it kind of is too close to Actus, because when you think about it, Actus heals people next to him and gives them bonus attacks, right? It's kind of like Actus on a cooldown right now, and maybe it should be like a little bit more different, I guess. Maybe it wouldn't be too bad to fuck me, it's hard. Extra damage. Yeah, extra damage for the attack would be okay, I think. I think that it would be fine. I think that I would word it like this to allow more synergy. So we remove the healing part, right? And we go like this. Target Y number of targets around Makotep. If used on a mechanical character, they attack an enemy in range, dealing X bonus damage per hit. If used on a mechanical summon, the summon becomes completely controllable by the player for the remainder of the match, and can attack attack an enemy in range, right? Like I think that it would be the way to go. The 2-turn cooldown is okay because this allows us to use it every third round, and this means that we would be able to use it like twice in a guild raid fight, so that's okay. So yeah, that's the active. I think that it would be fine like this. So we remove the healing, we pick units, we gave them extra attacks with bonus damage, and I think that the bonus damage could stay until the end of the round. So this would allow us to, for example, give bonus damage to a unit with plenty of hits. Wait. Let me think of something. Because the huge part of Makotep right now is that he's very universal. The active on Makotep allows you to target basically any summon in the game. And I think that it should stay like this. So target X units around next to Makotep. The targeted units make an additional attack against an enemy in their range. If the selected unit is mechanical, it deals bonus Y damage per hit on this attack, or for the remainder of the round. If the target is a mechanical summon, the player can control it for the remainder of the match. So you pick units next to Makotep, everyone gets a free attack, mechanical units get more damage, and mechanical summons get more damage, and also they can be controlled in the future rounds. That's my idea. So yeah, I would make it like this. If I were to implement this into the game, I would go for this kind of implementation. It still would be scary as fuck, to be honest, because in theory you could give like double attacks to things like Ragnar or Snotloga or whatever. It would be very dangerous, but we have a cooldown on it. We could even make it 3-turn cooldown, it wouldn't matter much, right? Because in PvP game modes, it still won't be active a second time. And in PvE, well, 3-turn cooldown, it's okay. Like, you can use it twice in a guild raid fight. That's good enough for me. Imagine bringing Makotep for Rogaldorn battle tank and then using the Warhole twice with Onshi, and on the Warhole turns you charge with your melee units and then give them second attacks with Makotep active. Like, that would be fun. Like, I don't think that it would be broken, since we are not giving them more movement to like cross the whole map in PvP in one turn, but we are just opening up more synergies, and we like it when we have more synergies. Okay, let's see. Passive, a relentless march. If a mechanical unit is damaged in a hex adjacent to Makotep, they restore health. If it has the living metal trait, it restores more health and has, oh no, no, no. That's like Isabella plus Incisus. I get what you meant, but to be honest, if I were to bring like a medic gameplay into Necrons, I think that it would be on, it should be on Anufet. Like that's you have no clue what to give him. Well, it's simple. It's very simple. You don't have to change his passive. His passive is very okay right now. And the only thing that it could have changed to be more exciting would be to, instead of repairing adjacent units, adjacent mechanical units, it could be giving them some other effect. So it would make it truly a relentless march. Yes, it would make it a relentless march. Wouldn't the movement be OP with the new active? It would and it wouldn't, because it depends whether you... it all depends whether you give the summons an extra action or you make them attack again. So you could make it so the active just gives an extra attack. And you remove the bonus movement part of the active. And then it basically would make it so there's no this super strong synergy of movement resets. And the passive still is like very unique, because +1 movement to all adjacent units is strong as hell and very, passive not triggering when you activate an ability. I think that's the way to go with this kit, because this is too much. This is too much healing, this is too much sustain, and it basically is like Incisus plus Isabella, while Makotep has a very unique niche on his passive, being the only character in the game that gives +1 movement to everyone with no restrictions. Like, we need to keep it. Really, we need to keep it this passive. So, if a mechanical, like the current wording, what is it? Gives +1 movement to all friendly units that start their turn in an adjacent hex. Also repairs mechanical units for health. So, yeah, support sniper to the max. Yes, I would love a support sniper to the max. Like, his job is to suppress the enemy, give your units more attacks by using the adaptive strategy and like giving more actions to them. And the passive could be changed into, like, instead of healing, it could be something like affected mechanical units also deal 1 more hit with their attacks, and summons deal bonus damage, let's say. Like, it could be done like somewhere, something like this. Like, change him from a healer, because well, he isn't connected to healing on tabletop or in lore, I think. Just make him a buffer that gives you bonus actions. Like, I think that it would be a very fun combination. I think that it would be fine, and it would be fun to abuse. +1 hit for living metal. Yeah, if we were to have that most restrictions removed and stuff, yeah, that would be fun. Like, it could even be like +2. It wouldn't matter, because Emospec already has 6, so going to 8 isn't that big of a change. And then we have Tatmos, which needs all the help that we have in the world. Aleph Null, which has like 5 hits already, so getting to 7 isn't that big of a deal. And Anufet, which has like 4 or 3 and 2 on the passive. Like, it wouldn't matter too much. Like, the amount of hits in the Necron faction is very high, so it doesn't have to be only +1. It could even be +2 for the living metal. And it wouldn't be problematic, I think. And it also would make the adaptive strategy very strong or Necron on the Necron warriors. So it would give them like 4 hits instead of 2, instead of 2 hits, and then you could control them, which means that you could abuse the bonus damage, synergies, and stuff. That would be fine. Like giving 2 hits on Makotep passive would be fine, in my opinion. So yeah. So gives +1 movement to all friendly units that start their turn in adjacent hex. Also, affected mechanical living metal units deal +2 hits with their attacks, which means that their abilities are stronger, their attacks are stronger, and well, they are stronger overall. And it gives you like proper synergy, because you can then also activate a Relentless March on the adaptive strategy. So it gives like plus hits to your Necrons too. And then if you were to use, for example, Makotep for the Necron warriors from Anufet, you would give them bonus hits, and they would get the bonus attack with those hits. So that would be like a proper combo, a proper synergy. That would be like good design for a faction, I think. I hope. I really hope that it would be a good design, because I think that I tend to have good ideas about designs. So let's go next. Emo spec, Living Metal Overwatch, active. Upon activating, Emo spec enters Overwatch, gains +1 range, +X damage. If he kills a target on his Overwatch turn, he keeps the bonuses for the remainder of the battle. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, let me quickly check whether the passive connects with it somehow. Emo spec is immune to suppression and stun effects while in Overwatch. Okay, so this means that he will stay in Overwatch no matter what. Okay. He also gains -X% damage taken after he kills a non-mechanical unit in Overwatch. If he kills the target with the Overwatch, then he remains with the Overwatch with -1 hit. I don't think that he needs the damage reduction. -X damage reduction. Okay, I see what you did. So you basically transferred the bonus damage from the passive into his active, gave him 1 range on his active, and if you manage to kill someone while overwatching, you keep the stats. So the passive is then always online, like the passive damage, and he is a 3 range character instead of 2. The active, I really like. But this isn't mechanical for flavor. Yeah. So okay, so what I think. Wait. What I think is that being immune to suppression and stun effects while in Overwatch, I don't think that it should be always online. I think that it should be only for the active turn. That's my opinion. Because Overwatch requires a clear counterplay, right? I know that you can run into melee or you can have infiltrate, okay, but still, I think that he should be immune to suppression and stuns during this one active turn to make it like a super Overwatch, to feel it. You cannot stop it. He gets more range, he gets more damage. If you F up, he is permabuffed. So that's, I think, pretty good. Like pretty good. So He keeps Overwatch after killing. That's okay. That's essential for his kit. He gains minus X% damage taken after he kills a non-mechanical unit in Overwatch. Maybe his next ranged attack gets X damage if he kills in Overwatch. Now this I can get behind. But at the same time we would have two damage buffs in his kit, right? I'm not saying that it's a problem per se, but you would have to balance both numbers together in a way. And it also would make him like all about the damage buffs. So maybe giving him like something more interesting on the passive, like staying in Overwatch. That's okay. That's required to be happening. But what can we give him to scale him? To scale him over the levels, we basically can have. We can have health, damage, armor. That's basically it. And we have to find a way to do it. Emo spec needs armor. Yeah, but that would be a stat buff. What I mean is we need to give him some sort of scaling on the passive, right? So we are here right now. So our emo spec enters like a huge Overwatch, and he manages to kill an enemy. So he now is a 3-range sniper with Overwatch that can stay online forever as long as he kills. And then he needs some sort of scaling. But what would it be? That's the problem. What if we changed the wording a bit? So emo spec, upon activating, emo spec enters Overwatch. He gains +1 range. If he kills a target in his Overwatch, he keeps the bonuses for the remainder of the battle. Emo spec is immune to suppression and stun effects while in Overwatch. That's so hard. That's so hard because we need this. We need the scaling too. Damn, this is hard. This is hard as hell. What if he gets X damage increase as long as he's on Overwatch? Deathmark backups instead of Mega Overwatch. Yeah, I mean that would fit the Necrons as a summoner faction, but I think that keeping him as a Mega Overwatch himself is the way to go. So, what could we do here? +1 range, that's great. Entering Overwatch, being immune to suppression and stun effects, that's also okay. What could we do? Maybe he could be maybe he could be dealing more damage to summons on his active. So it's like basically an insta-kill in a way for summons. Armor debuff that decays. That would fit his low pierce. That would hit his... I mean... the problem is that... So... Why is this so hard? Because we don't want to just slap damage buff without giving him some more flavor or fun interactions, right? So maybe... Okay, so let's do it like this. Upon activating, emo spec enters Overwatch and becomes immune to suppression and stun effects this turn. Or until the start of his next turn, right? He gains +1 range and plus X damage to his normal ranged attacks. That's okay, and we have a scaling here. If he kills a target in his Overwatch turn, he keeps the bonuses for the rest of the combat, for the battle, right? So that's basically how it is right now, but we just add it here. And I don't like the damage taken debuff. So if Emospec kills the target with his Overwatch attack, he then maintains it with -1 hit when compared to the previous attack. Additionally, for each hit that Emospec makes against a target, it receives -X armor. So that would make him an armor debuffer, but the debuff would be basically connected to how many hits you got hit by, which means that like a normal attack would like lower the armor like fully, but if you were connecting hits in Overwatch, each next Overwatch attack would deal less damage because there would be, well, first, less hits, and second, less armor penetration because the target wouldn't lose so much armor, right? I don't know. This is hard. Like, Emospec doesn't need huge changes. That's the problem. That's the problem. So, hard to tell. Like, I don't like this. I don't like damage reduction on him. He's supposed to be a glass cannon. This is required. This goes here. And then we need some scaling on the passive. So like armor reduction, maybe healing per kill, maybe giving him something like extra damage against summons or something like this. I have no idea. But like if a character is dead, you don't carry his armor is -X. Like he's dead. Yeah. On my rework idea, I just increased the stats and added deep strike and then indirect fire. Direct fire is underutilized in this game. There should be more indirect fire units. Okay, okay. I will leave Emospec behind because there are things that could be done, but I don't want to sit for an hour just on him. Like, I like the idea of permanent buff if he kills someone on the mega turn. I don't like the damage taken buff though. So, you know, there can be like a middle ground to be found. Aleph Null, active. Same, but give Scarabs their Pierce back. Fuck no. Fuck no. No. You know, I even said today that you don't have to change anything about Aleph Null active. That's the problem. Like Aleph Null active is great on its own. Like I said, I would even suggest that okay, I would even suggest that the Scarabs shouldn't have piercing attack type when they are spawned, because they are not supposed to be killers. They are supposed to be like meat for you to get through and something to not ignore, because they can multiply and overwhelm you. But the fact that they have the piercing attack means that they can one-shot characters, and that's not fun. Like that's like Aleph Null is basically like I think that Aleph Null was the first iteration of like action-packed, power-crept character in a way, overloaded in terms of actions, because there was Aleph Null, and there were two Scarabs, and the Scarabs attacked the target, and they basically almost always killed the target, and then you had 3 bodies to kill. Because you couldn't ignore Aleph Null, you couldn't ignore the Scarabs, because they were very dangerous. Gelgorts right now is like 2 levels above this, because Gelgorts is here, he makes a charge, he gets more movement, then he summons 2 boys, the 2 boys can attack different units, and they also can easily one-shot someone if he is mispositioned. So yeah. Aleph Null action economy got power created by Gelgorts, but I will stand behind the idea that the Scarabs shouldn't be killers. They should be a huge nuisance to kill, but they shouldn't have high piercing ever. Okay, Fabricator Claw Array. Same, but give him damage reduction to only living metal aura. 25% block chance. Block chance is not the way to go, since no Necron has any block. It's just part of their design, as far as I can tell. So they are not about blocking. Giving them damage reduction, that's okay, but I would put it on the Necron Machine of War instead of the passive for Aleph Null. But I agree that being better like for living metal is a good idea, and it doesn't have to be anything exciting. It could basically be maybe he adds armor. Like that's very risky because Necrons already are kinda tanky, but maybe, yeah, maybe. Because I had an idea that he may add damage. So he is better when you like heal Emospec. When you heal Emospec with him. So that's like giving Emospec a big damage turn. Maybe you could combo it with Emospec's new active. Right? So if I would give it like either I've maybe another armor reduction on hit. Anti-heal. Nah. I think that like I would keep it simple, because he doesn't need like huge new effects or something. Like giving something a slight damage buff is like good enough. The lore of Scarabs is to destroy armor. Okay. What if we... Okay, guys, let's meet in the middle, okay? The Scarabs are meant to destroy armor, and the Claw Array is meant to heal, right? What if, instead of giving the Scarabs piercing, we made Aleph Null a armor reduction character? So he would remove X armor on the active, on the enemy, and the Scarabs would just have like the basic damage type, not piercing. Then maybe when he flies over someone he deals damage. No, that's not Necron. That's more like orcs. If we ever get a Stormboy or something. And then I would like give living metal units bonus damage for until the next turn, let's say, next round. I would go for it like this. Because percent damage reduction seems to be mostly, I'm not saying that exclusively, but mostly targeted at machines of war, which is fine. The Necron machine of war can give them percent damage reduction, so their healing is more beneficial to them. But at the same time, I think that like a simple damage buff would be okay. That would be great. I think all molecular remove 10% armor every attack. Does this work? I mean, I would even add this to the molecular damage type as a base thing that it does, right? We talked with Sheku last time that it would be fine to get more effects on damage types, additional effects. So like psychic damage bounces and Melta damage deals more damage to vehicles, like molecular could be removing armor. That would be fine. That would be fine. I wouldn't mind it at all. So, let's see. Tatmos. Living metal flying. Active. Living lightning. Target a unit up to 3 hexes away. Deal X true damage. Okay, I can see League player here. Okay, you gave it cooldown and removed the restriction. I would be fine with it. As we all know, lightning can strike twice. So, like, this one I think I failed. I mean, he's supposed to be simple damage dealer, right? So, the thing is, target a unit up to 3 hexes away, deal direct damage to it and 2 more units, that's the same. We allow us to... it should be 1 times X, right? You have to show that it's 1 hit. If we remove the restriction, like we talked about it before, you can buff it up with things like Tryon or Elgion or whatever. Then it opens up. You give it cooldown, using it every 3 turns, that's okay. That this active, it would be fine for survival then, for example. Like, Tatmos would be still a piece of shit in terms of like being so easy to kill, so easy to one-shot. Stat changes could happen, right? So it's no biggie. It can be fixed. We are talking about design here, and this kind of design would be okay. Like, it would be fine. Passive. Mechanical units in 1 hex radius of Tatmos deal plus X direct damage. If the unit has the living metal, then the unit's range attacks also deal percent direct damage smite of the original attack to adjacent target. You have to change it so it's not true damage and it's direct. Because I have TFT in front of my eyes right now. Okay, so mechanical units. Next, you don't have to do 1 hex radius. You can just say next to Tutmos. Deal plus X direct damage. Or plasma. Yes! Yes, it should be plasma. Screw the direct damage. We can make it plasma here. We can make it plasma here. Like, that's the way to go. Yes. Just ditch the direct damage. If Snowprint is so scared of direct damage, just ditch it. Make it plasma here, make it plasma here. And if the unit has living metal, then the unit's range attack also deals percent direct damage smite. This one I don't like that much. what could we do here? We are talking about a flying noodle that basically is about the lightning and plasma in terms of the design. Yeah, I don't like the smite. I would prefer the AoE to be part mostly of the active, but I would prefer the passive to be buffer. So dealing plasma damage is okay. So it could be worded like Pastilian is, right? Where's Pastilian? Here he is. So mechanical units next to Tutmos deal an additional 1 times X plasma damage with their normal attacks for this round, or something like this, right? Make him attack enemy hit by plasma damage in a 2 hex radius. I mean, it could work. So, let me think. So units next to him deal plasma damage. So it would be like ranged raw in a way, right? What if we make it so that let me try to say it. Mechanical units next to Tutmos deal 1 times X plasma damage with their normal attacks. Each time an enemy in range 2 of Tutmos takes plasma damage from a unit other than Tutmos, Tutmos performs a normal ranged attack against it. Something like this? So, range attack can chain like lightning. That would be also good. But we kinda need to decide whether we are more plasma or lightning. And he's the plasma mancer, so you know. He's kinda both, but I don't know. Like bonus plasma damage on normal attacks is a great idea. I don't know whether we should. No, wait. What if? So mechanical units in 1 hex radius of so mechanical units next to Tutmos deal plus X 1 hit of X damage plasma with their normal attacks, right? And then for each adjacent living metal ally, Tutmos's range and normal attacks chain to 1 more enemy. So, if you were to surround Tutmos with 6 Necron allies, he would be able to hit 7 people at the same time. Get him to make all attacks that jump to a second target dealing X plasma damage. That's simple. Yes. That's a bit closer to Mephiston, let's say. I think that's like... I personally would love for Necrons to be kinda built around circles. Like... make him a non-psyker. No. Like, I think that I like the idea. Okay, let me try and show you what I mean. So, we have this box here, right? And we have a Necron here, right? So, the thing is, we have 6 hexes next to each character in the game. And I really enjoy the idea of having the Necrons be the circle faction. So, look at it like this. This circle is where your character wants to be. And you interact with those hexes with your abilities, right? So, Makotep, if we get Makotep in the circle, he wants those numbers adjacent to him to be occupied by friendly mechanical units or friendly units, whatever. No, he needs to be surrounded. When we look at Imospec, well, he kinda is right now built around killing enemies in a circle, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean? And it goes in a circle. So the idea is that it would be fun to apply this to every Necron. The circle design. So for Tutmos, it could be being surrounded by allies, right? Mechanical allies, because if he is in the middle, he buffs everyone around him, and we can give him some buffs for himself for every adjacent ally, right? So it could be like something like every adjacent mechanical ally deals plasma damage with their normal attacks, and Tutmos gets either bonus damage for each adjacent living metal ally, or he gets smite effect for each adjacent living metal ally, so he can like chain a few times, right? And with Anufet, it's like the easiest thing, so he gets summons, and he summons in a circle around him. So yeah, I think that making Necrons the circle faction would be the way to go. So Makotep, it works. So let's see, Makotep works. Imospec works. He's a circle character. Aleph Null doesn't work in the current build. This Tutmos that we talked about could work, and Anufet would work. So we only would need to touch up on Aleph Null to give him like some synergies based on a circle thing. Okay, not your Anufet. Okay, we could make like some, you know, some of your things could be implemented and some could be left like they are right now. Let's see your Anufet. Living metal, resilient. Oh, that's nice. Active. My will be done. Summon 2 obsidian, destroy. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Idea basket. I get you. I get you. Every turn that passes or every living metal ally that dies will make Anufet summon a Necron warrior. Oh, Necron warrior or flayed one. No. Like this active? No, 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 no. I think that Resurrection Orb should just be like real Resurrection Orb. Like I like the idea of okay, so Resurrection Orb being on a passive is interesting because it makes you feel like fighting a resurrecting faction. So I wouldn't do every turn that passes. I would go for every... Holy hell. I would make it... let's see. Every time a mechanical unit dies, Anufet summons a flayed one. And every time a living metal ally dies, Anufet summons a Necron warrior instead. Necrons are a menace in Tournament Arena because of the destroyers. Like, the destroyers are powerhouses. So, yeah, giving them on an active would be awful. Awful to fight against. Because they are very, very overstated. They have way too high stats for their rank. The destroyers. They are meant to be very strong when even leveled. So, Necrons are a menace because destroyers are a menace. Yeah. So Resurrection Orb. I like the idea of Resurrection Orb being a passive. So I think that like making it so like mech and living metal are different things. So mech would be like the flayed one, and Necron warrior would be from the living metal, right? So I think that like this could be okay since the flayed ones are pretty bad. Let's be honest. Necron warriors are like pretty good. So you have to have your living metal units die in order to get the good stuff on the passive. Keep in mind, it's passive. And when your Necron... Oh wait, it would be infinite if we didn't add a wording to it. Huh. Well, we could restrict it some way, right? But the active is the weird part here. What can we do? Because I like the idea of Resurrection Orb being on the passive. I think that it's neat. But what should we do with the active then? What would fit the active here? Hard to tell, to be honest. Because switch it with the guard NPCs from the Necron side bosses. Resurrect that living metal allies. So, I think that making it so that he can resurrect living metal allies would be okay. But I'm not sure what the scaling should be. Because I would, okay, so I think that he should be able to revive the whole Necron faction. So he should be able to revive all 4 characters. But he should not revive them at full health. So I would go with some resurrecting them at 10 health, 10% health, and then giving them bonus armor for until the next round, so they are harder to kill before they can take action. No, I don't think that he should revive at 50%, because I think that he should be able to revive everyone. So he should be able to revive 4 Necrons with 1 active. That's my idea. I want him to revive everyone. I don't want RNG to decide whether I get Tatmos or if I get Aleph Null, right? I want them all to be here. Yeah, but 50% health is a lot. The resurrection should come from living metal passive, not a character. Yeah, 30% would be okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, they heal anyway, but they heal at turn start. And, you know, if it were up to me, I would just... I would just make it so wait, but what if we made it so he started a counter of some sort? So okay, imagine this. Imagine this. Oh, let's make it white. So imagine this. Let's go like this. So we have Anufet here, right? And he uses his active. So let's see, active. He uses the active, and this active starts a, let's say, 3-turn countdown. So it starts at 3. You end the turn. You start the next turn, it goes to 2. When the turn, it goes to 1. Then it goes to 0, right? And what happens is when this ends, when this countdown ends after 3 rounds, let's say, 3 whole rounds, like that's a huge countdown for this game. He resurrects all living metal allies in a radius of 3 hexes. So he can resurrect your characters, so they would, for example, resurrect next to him. So, for example, let's say the 4 Necrons characters get resurrected here, right? They surround him. And then everything else gets swarmed with Scarabs, with Necron warriors, with flayed ones, like this. So I would like word it like this. Uh, in 3 turns of, after 4 rounds, because the first one would pass when you ended the round, after 4 rounds, Anufet resurrects all living metal allies that have died this game in a 3 hex radius. So the ability first summons, first resurrects living metal characters, and then the summons. All characters have 100% resurrection chance for this turn and enemy's turn. Oh, that I think that it would be toxic in tournament arena. Like, I think that it could be problematic. Like, I know that the ability that I'm proposing is like a huge power swing, yes, but there's a reason why it has to charge up for 3 turns, right? So I think that we could do this way. So my idea would be to make it like Anufet passive, every time a mechanical ally dies, he summons a flayed one. Every time a living metal ally dies, he summons a Necron warrior. And then on his active, you start the timer, and it goes like 3, 2, 1, 0, and it resurrects every Necron character that has died next to him, and then resurrects all the living metal summons that have died. So it would be the Scarabs, it would be the Flayed ones, and it would be the Necron warriors. I mean, they have 2 guaranteed. They have 2 guaranteed Scarabs, and the new passive on Anufet would be giving you Flayed ones and Necron warriors. You would be getting Necron warriors with a full Necron team. So I think that it would be good enough. But you could also go like maybe Emo Spec could be built a different way, right? So maybe Emo Spec could get the Deathmark Assassins as part of his kit. That could be an option, and then they would have even more diverse roster. I don't know. It could be also like every time a living metal ally dies, Anufet summons a Necron warrior or a Flayed one, and I would make it like 50-50 instead of 70-30. Just make it 50-50, and or maybe 33-33 because it could be the Flayed one, it could be Necron warrior, or it could be the assassin, the sniper guy. Maybe he could have all 3. Remove living metal from those. Cool ideas, but they shouldn't be too complicated because no one will want to use them if it's easier to use other characters. Well, yeah, that's basically why multi-hit is being played, right? Because it's the easiest to play. Remove living metal from those if he keeps reviving everyone. Maybe that's a good idea. I can get behind it. But yeah, I think that like the huge resurrect, the Flayed ones are not controlled by the Overlord. Okay, so it could be like just Necron warriors, I guess. Every time a mechanical ally dies, Every time a mechanical ally dies, Anufet will summon a Necron warrior in a hex adjacent to him. This Necron warrior does not count for this passive. Like this. I think that it's good. So we get tons of Necron warriors when allies die, and we have like a huge... have fun playing D&D like Master. And we have like a source of Necron warriors, and then I would make the active like this huge countdown resurrect, like this huge payoff that would basically resurrect all your living metal allies, and it would also like give you back your characters. I would go for it like this. I think that it would be fine, and it would also like, why give a cooldown? No, I don't mean a cooldown. My idea is not a cooldown. My idea is a countdown. So let's say turn 1, you use it here. And you have to commit to it, because it then counts. 1, 2, 3, and then it happens, right? That's the idea. You have to commit. You have to use it. And no. You cannot make it instant. Because the problem is that we give it the potential of resurrecting... how many? Let's think. 4 characters and plenty of summons at the same time with one ability. You shouldn't make it instant. Like, we should just go balls deep. Like, it should be a huge payoff, but it should be hard to set up. So, like, having your Anufet survive, be guarded by your Necrons for 3 turns is a huge payoff. Because think of it like this. If you want... Your enemy uses the huge payoff Anufet active, right? The huge resurrection. You have an option. You either go through and you kill the Necrons in your way. You try to kill them. And you can try to kill Anufet. So you either succeed and you stop the combo, so you are forced to push, right? And you kill. But you can also fail to push. So you killed the summons, you killed like a character or two, but you don't kill Anufet, right? And if you don't, he punishes you for it because he resurrects everyone. That's my idea. Like, the Necron player has to make a call. Like, I'm starting the countdown now. Yeah, it's insurance that forces the enemy's hand. Yes. Because the enemy has a counterplay, right? He could, like, nuke him with Matanio or something. But, for example, you can defend your Anufet in certain ways. So it's like, I'm declaring this huge action. And now you can either prepare for it or try to counterplay it. And if you fail to counterplay it, you will get punished. That's the kind of design that I would love. So, I don't know. I think that it would be fine. I think that it would be fun to experience. So yeah, this was the Necron rework. Yeah, they need a stat rework, but I wouldn't call it a rework. They need that stat tweaks, right? and they need some changes to the stats. They need to basically get some more armor, some more health. It depends on the character, right? Nothing too crazy. Yeah, abilities alone can save them. Yes, that's especially true for Tutmos. But you know, stats are easy to tweak. Abilities designs are way harder to get right. I think they are the hardest part of designing a fun character. A fun character, because it's easy to make a good character because you can just either overload it or give it absurd numbers, but you would just have to spend a lot of time to make a fun character that's exciting to use, and we are trying to make it like this here. Anyway, guys, we hit the 2 hours mark, and Jess is walking his dog. And I think that it's a good time to finish the stream for today. I think that we got some good ideas for the Necron factions. I think that some of our ideas that you guys or me proposed during this stream would be very, very good to have in the game. Like Tutmos being able to crit and have his passive and active modified. That's the simplest change that can happen. That's the simplest thing that we can wish for. I think that it should be done. There's no reason to not be doing it, but you know, it is what it is. So, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope that you guys enjoyed this Necron faction deep dive. I hope that, well, it will be... the faction will be reworked sometime soon, maybe, because they need it to. Like, not as much as Astra Militarum, but fixing Necrons won't be as hard as fixing Astra Militarum, so it should be done first, maybe. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next stream. Take care, goodbye.